If you thought Landman's recent episodes were shaky, wait until you see the trailer for episode 8. Honestly, it's not just disappointing, it feels like a total disaster waiting to happen. The trailer raises more questions than answers, and if this is any indication of what's coming next, we're in for a wild, frustrating ride. Let's break down why this trailer leaves fans scratching their heads and fearing the worst. After the lull in episode 7, I was hoping episode 8 would bring some much-needed fire and excitement back to the show. Instead, the trailer only confirms what many of us feared. Landman might be heading into some seriously rough territory. From the very start, the trailer feels disjointed, almost like the writers couldn't decide what story to focus on or how to keep the tension alive. There's this weird mix of moments that should be thrilling but somehow come off flat or confusing. For instance, the scenes involving Tommy and Angela seem like they're trying to recapture the chaotic energy that made their storyline interesting before, but now it just feels forced and awkward. Instead of feeling like a real relationship drama, it's more like watching two characters stuck in a loop, repeating the same mistakes without any growth or payoff. Angela's frustration doesn't come across as believable. It's more like a script ticking a box rather than a genuine emotional reaction. The awkwardness with the room service worker that once brought humor now just feels uncomfortable and out of place, making it hard to stay invested in what should be a key part of their story. Then there's Cooper and Ariana, who should be the calming contrast to all this chaos, but even their storyline in the trailer feels strangely underwhelming. The proposal scene teased in the trailer might be romantic in theory, but the trailer's pacing makes it seem rushed and lacking in the emotional buildup we expect from them. Cooper's excitement, which was once charming, now feels a bit desperate, and Ariana's maturity comes off as cold rather than wise. This imbalance makes their relationship feel less like a genuine partnership and more like two people playing roles in a predictable romantic subplot. It's hard to shake the feeling that the trailer glosses over what made their relationship special and instead leans too heavily on cliches. The way they talk about commitment and marriage sounds like a script read rather than a heartfelt conversation, and that's a big miss for fans who've been rooting for them all season. Now, the biggest problem revealed in the trailer is Rebecca's storyline. If episode 7 left us confused and a bit annoyed with how her plot was handled, episode 8's trailer doubles down on that frustration. It's clear from the snippets we see that the conflict around the oil rig and the insurance drama is supposed to be the high-stakes core of this season, but the trailer fails to build any real tension or urgency. Instead, it feels like a mess of legal jargon and half-explained problems that don't connect well with the characters or the audience. Rebecca's fear and humiliation seem real, but the trailer doesn't give us enough context to care deeply about the outcome. Nate's involvement, which once added an interesting layer of conflict, now feels like a pointless power play that drags the whole story down. The tension between him and Rebecca comes off as petty rather than intense, and the promise of consequences feels more like empty threats than real stakes. What's worse, the trailer suggests that Tommy's reaction to all this is going to be dismissive and almost careless, which is a baffling choice given the potential severity of the situation. If Tommy truly believes the company's fate rests on his shoulders, you'd expect a stronger emotional response. But the trailer shows none of that, leaving viewers wondering if the writers have lost sight of the character's core motivations. On top of that, the trailer hints at some heavy decisions coming up, but instead of building suspense, it just leaves us confused and frustrated. We get quick flashes of tension between Tommy and Cammy, but the trailer doesn't explain why it matters or how it fits into the bigger picture. Cammy's hopes and expectations seem important, but without proper setup or payoff, those moments feel hollow. The big reveal from Galliano, which should be a dramatic turning point, comes across as bleak but lacks the weight it needs to really hit home. The trailer makes it clear that the company is on the edge of collapse, but somehow it also makes the audience feel like none of the characters truly understand the danger they're in. That disconnect between story and character motivation creates a strange vibe where nothing feels urgent or believable, and instead it just drags the momentum down. In summary, the episode 8 trailer feels like a patchwork of missed opportunities and confusing choices. Instead of building excitement for the next chapter, it leaves fans worried that the show might be losing its way. If this trailer is any sign, episode 8 could be a total disaster, not because of bad writing alone, but because it fails to respect the audience's intelligence and the emotional investment we've made so far. The questions now aren't just about what will happen next, but whether the show can even pull itself out of this mess and deliver the drama and suspense we've been craving. One of the biggest issues the trailer exposes is how uneven the storytelling has become. It's like the writers are juggling too many threads without giving any of them the attention they deserve. The oil rig storyline, which should be the backbone of the entire season, feels especially weak here. Instead of building genuine suspense around the risk and uncertainty of the drilling project, the trailer throws out numbers and technical jargon that don't really connect emotionally. When Charlie talks about the $400 million drilling platform and the slim chance of finding gas, it should feel like a ticking time bomb, but the trailer doesn't make it clear why this matters beyond the obvious financial risk. We don't see the characters' fears, hopes, or desperation in a way that pulls us in. It just feels like a business meeting, not a life or death gamble. That lack of emotional depth makes it harder to care about what's at stake, and that's a huge problem for a show that's supposed to be about high-stakes drama. Rebecca's reaction to this risk is another example of the trailer missing the mark. Her growing fear that the hurricane wasn't the real cause of the disaster should be chilling, yet in the trailer it comes across more as a passing concern than a looming crisis. The tension between Rebecca and Nate, which could have been electric, is watered down to a dull power struggle. Nate's insistence on the conflict of interest form and his cold approach to Rebecca's fear should feel like a game-changing move, but the trailer barely gives it the weight it deserves. Instead, Nate seems less like a threat and more like a bureaucratic nuisance, which lessens the impact of his character's role. And if Nate's conflict with Rebecca is so serious, why does Tommy brush it off so easily? The trailer doesn't answer that question, and the disconnect leaves viewers confused about who really holds the power in this storyline. Speaking of Tommy, his character arc in this trailer feels muddled. He's supposed to be the one carrying the burden of the company's survival, but the trailer shows him almost shrugging off serious problems like they're minor annoyances. This reaction contradicts everything we know about Tommy from earlier episodes, where he was driven, intense, and deeply invested in making the company succeed. The trailer's portrayal of him as detached or careless not only undermines his character, but also weakens the overall drama. If the lead isn't fully engaged with the crisis, it's hard for the audience to feel the stakes or root for him. Worse, the trailer hints at Tommy avoiding important conversations with Cammy, which is baffling. Cammy's belief in Tommy and her reliance on him to save the company is one of the most compelling emotional threads in the show, but the trailer suggests that Tommy might be too scared or selfish to step up. That tension could be powerful, but right now it just feels like a confusing mess. The trailer also drops hints about Galliano's role in all this, and honestly, it's one of the few moments that actually grabs your attention. Galliano's blunt declaration that the company died when Cammy's husband died is a brutal line that should shake the foundations of the story. It sets a bleak tone that promises real consequences and forces Tommy to face the harsh truth. Yet, even this powerful moment is undercut by the trailer's pacing and lack of context. We don't see Tommy's reaction in a way that makes us care deeply. It feels like just another gloomy line in a series of gloomy lines. Without proper build-up or emotional payoff, the impact falls flat. This missed opportunity reflects the bigger problem of the trailer. It has the pieces for a gripping story, but fails to put them together in a way that hooks the audience. What's most frustrating about this trailer is that it teases so much, but delivers so little. It hints at massive problems, intense conflicts, and potential betrayals, but never really pulls us into the heart of those moments. Instead, it feels like a checklist of drama tropes without the real emotional core that makes those tropes work. The tension between characters is suggested but not shown, the stakes are mentioned but not felt. For a show like Landman, which has thrived on complex relationships and high-stakes decisions, this lack of clarity and emotional depth is a huge disappointment. Fans of the show probably watch the episode no matter what, hoping that the trailer doesn't tell the whole story, that the episode itself will somehow fix the issues and bring back the suspense and excitement we've been missing. But based on what we see here, episode 8 might be the point where the show's momentum stalls. The trailer raises so many red flags about pacing, character development, and storytelling that it's hard not to worry where Landman is headed. Another glaring problem the trailer highlights is how the characters' motivations feel unclear or inconsistent. We've spent so much time invested in their journeys, but here it's like the writing forgot who they are or what drives them. Take Cammy, for example. She's supposed to be the heart and soul of the company, the reason everyone is fighting to keep it alive. Yet the trailer barely shows her strength or determination. Instead, she's portrayed mostly through Tommy's perspective, and even then, she feels more like a background figure than a key player. Her hopes for the company and her belief in Tommy should be inspiring, but the trailer makes it seem like she's just waiting for someone else to save the day. That lack of agency makes her character feel weak and underdeveloped, which is disappointing given how central she is to the story. Then there's Tommy's relationship with Cammy, which should be filled with tension, emotion, and tough decisions. The trailer hints at this, but doesn't really dive into it. We see moments where Cammy expects Tommy to be the hero, but he's shown to be hesitant or even avoidant. This disconnect creates suspense, sure, but it also feels like the characters are stuck in a loop of